Hello, everyone. Welcome into Midnight Morning Readings. Thank you for viewing me today. We're here to do a general reading for the sign of Aquarius. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This is good for all placements and for the next month or so. So whenever this reading finds you, it was meant to find you for a reason. So we're going to go ahead and get started by getting a um, money, career, finance message card from Spirit for this reading. Thank you. And so Spirit has given you, so the card that has coming out is Treasure. It says worry-free finances, money in reserve, excess. And for a career, it's executive sales, planning, hidden talent. So it's definitely saying that there is something in the wings, that either you're holding on to something or there is something that is about to be delivered to you that maybe you're not expecting. Okay. So could be a promotion, could be a bonus, could be a job offer from another company that might come out of nowhere, something of that nature. Okay, so we're also going to get a relationship card. So for some of you, this may be a romantic relationship, it could be a familial relationship, coworker, some type of relationship that might offer some intuitive guidance for you as this may relate to the reading. Okay. Oh, Spirit has given you two cards. And the first one is Silent Vision. Seek clarity and quiet. Listen to the voice of truth. Solitude brings awareness. And then they gave you the master key. Build a legacy with intention. Step into your rightful power. Authority arises from stability. So really, I really feel that these messages that are coming through as far as a relationship is concerned is there is something, there's a major turning point for you in some type of relationship that you are having, and you are asking Spirit, or you know for some clarity, some answers, like what do I do, how do I handle this? And they're saying you need to seek solitude. You need to, there's a lot of wisdom in the silence. And so a lot of times just being by yourself, seeking some solitude, stepping away from the normal routine that you have, just to get your mind clear, grounding yourself will help give you those answers and allow those answers to come to you as far as what decision you need to make. But no matter what the decision is that you make, you are definitely going to move forward with it with very positive and hopeful and honest intention. Okay, so for those of you, for the rest of this reading, this is good for all, like I said, for all placements, Aquarius. We're going to go ahead and get started and see what your overarching energies are for the month ahead, and then we're going to dive in. So on the bottom, you've got hostilities, your fourth chakra, door to personal healing and happiness, and attachments. And I feel that this definitely could be relating to some type of relationship that you are in, because I really feel that it's resonating as far as those relationship cards come out. And I feel that there's something that you're holding on to, that you're asking God, you're asking your angels and your guides to give you clarity on, to help you find the answer or the right conversation, because the fourth chakra is your heart chakra. And whatever the relationship is, you don't want to hurt that person. You don't want to be hurt in the process. You want to do this with as much love as possible. And so you have a lot of other um, things that are going on right now that um, you just you really need to let something go, and you're seeking solitude, and you're seeking guidance on how to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started And we're going to see what your overarching energies are for the month, Aquarius. Strongest, thank you. Strongest for Aquarius, please. Strongest, thank you. Strongest, thank you. Strongest, thank you. Anything else? Okay. On the bottom of the deck, I have a broken heart. This definitely is really resonating with me. There is some type of relationship that you're in, Aquarius, that you are really having some difficulty trying to figure out what you need to do as far as you're moving forward. And this, you know, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean is this a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be a coworker. It could be, you know, a longtime friend. It could be another family member. It could be somebody else to where you're really feeling, see, here's your fifth chakra. For fifth chakra is your throat. Okay. And it's all about communication. Aquarius, I'm really feeling this. This is talking about trying to find the right words to be able to have a conversation with somebody with a lot of love, even though you know it needs to be an open and honest conversation that you are having. So your seventh chakra is there, and then the goddess of the moon is on the bottom of the deck. And this is very, very powerful because the goddess of the moon brings in a lot of moon energy. And you know, we're just coming off of, you know, this new moon in Capricorn. So I feel that this, you know, this new moon cycle, this is always, you know, a new moon is always talks about new beginnings. It's about clarity. It's about reconciling things. It's about starting down a path that is going to move you into a different direction over the next 6 months. And I really feel that you have been asking Spirit to really give you some guidance, to really give you some intuitive energy, because the seventh chakra and the goddess of the moon are very, very similar energies, because it's very intuitive energy. It's very sixth and seventh chakra energy, where you are getting those messages from Spirit and you're trying to understand what they mean and how to turn those into reaction or how to relate to them. So you've got patience and you've got anxiety. You're definitely worried about this conversation. You know this conversation needs to happen. You know that you need to take time and really be thoughtful and careful and choose your words specifically, because if you look at the patience card, there is a clock. And so this is saying, you know, it's time. Whatever that time is for you, Aquarius, it's time. It's time now for you to be able to start moving forward, because the last two cards they gave you for your overarching energy, here's your third chakra, and then we have the Magician in the mirror. Okay. And the third chakra is your gut. You know, I mean, it really talks about, you know, that gut. What is your gut telling you? And that gut is also your sixth sense. It's also, you know, that sixth chakra. These messages, what is it telling you? When it is time, you will know when the time is right for you to be able to do that, because you're coming through, you know, with the Magician in the mirror. You know, you're looking at all of the different possibilities, all of the options that are in front of you, the good, the bad, you know, how this could go, and you are being so intentional about what you want to say, how you want to say it, and how you want it to hit that other person, to be delivered and to be received. You're being extremely cautious and very, very careful because you care for this person a lot. Okay, so I really feel that this next month, you know, or so that's coming up, this is all about communication. It's all about, you know, kind of making a pivotal choice, a pivotal change that is going to change direction for you and this other person. Okay. But before we get into your most recent, past, current, and incoming messages, we're going to see what challenges and obstacles that you might be facing, you know, this upcoming month, you know, that maybe you're asking Spirit to give you a little bit more help for, a little bit more guidance for. So, you know, on the bottom of the deck, you know, you've got pushing and striving, split your focus, emotions are energy in motion. This is a very, very charged month for you. You know, these next, you know, 4 weeks or so, this is really going to be to where, you know, you've got to stop, you know, you've got to stop split, you know, going in 10 different directions, because at some point you almost feel like, Am I going round and round? Am I going in circles? You know, am I spread too thin? I've got too many irons in the fire, and I really, really, really need to kind of recenter and refocus. And maybe that's the conversation that you feel you need to have with that other person, is because they're demanding too much of your time, that you aren't able to devote time to yourself for self-care, that you need to, maybe you're spread too thin at work, and you've got too many projects that you're going on, and your boss is coming in and saying, hey, I need you to take the lead on this other project. And you're like, I need to have this conversation with my boss saying, look, I can't take on any more work. I need help. And you don't want to tell them no, but at the same time, you can't give your best effort going forward if you've got too many irons in the fire that you can't finish anything. Okay, so let's see what some challenging obstacles that you might be having coming in for these next couple of weeks. For Aquarius, please. Thank you. Thank you. Strongest for Aquarius, please. On the bottom of the deck, move through your fear. Stop pushing and striving. Okay? All right. Aquarius, this is very interesting because this was the card on the bottom of the deck initially. Stop pushing and striving. Move through your fear. This is something that you know you have to do. And you're getting this anxiety, right? Because that came up in your overarching energies. And so you've got this anxiety, you've got this fear, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like what is going to happen if I have this conversation with this person? And I really feel that, Spirit is coming in and they're saying, you know what, it's time for you to stop putting this off. It's time for you, because you are beyond drowning, or you're beyond overcompensating, and you're beyond the point of giving. You are to the point now to where it's like you have to. Like, this is a must that you have to have. So they have feel into emotions, the magic of nothingness, and release old patterns. Okay, and this is where Spirit is coming in, and they're saying, at some point you have to come first. You have to have that self-care. You cannot continue to overcommit yourself and continually say yes when you've already told other people yes, and you're letting them down because you are not fulfilling your previous obligations. So it's a matter of having the conversation and saying, it's not that I'm saying no forever. It's the fact I need to honor my obligations and my promises to people I've already given it to first before I commit myself somewhere else. And that's where you need to have, I heard the word micromanage. Okay, so I feel that a good portion of you that are hearing this might be micromanagers. You might be people that hold a very high level of responsibility in the work that you do, or in the relationships that you have, or even in the volunteer work that you do, that you give it your all that's in there, and these old patterns that you're having are really coming in, and they're actually holding you back at this time, because and you really need to feel, and I know, being an air sign, Aquarius, this, it can be difficult sometimes to really tap into those emotions, and so if you know somebody that is a close friend of yours, a confidant, a sibling, a parent, that may be a water sign, okay, so somebody that's a Scorpio, Cancer, or Taurus, those are going to be, I'm sorry, those are going to be signs of people, okay, I misspoke. Those aren't all water signs that are there, okay? So you need a Pisces is also a water sign, all right? A Taurus is not a water sign, but obviously Spirit said I needed to say Taurus as well. So there might be somebody in your social circle, or in your familiar circle that is a Taurus, that is really in tune with their feelings, that is able to help, with that grounding, with that really getting to your base chakra and really getting yourself kind of figured out. All right. So, in the magic of nothingness, right? So, when you're talking about that, it's listening to the silence. It's really coming in to where you are still. You are not in motion anymore. You are being very, very still. You are being very, very calm, and you're really letting yourself open up and just let things go. Because remember, you did have attachments that was showing up at some of your underlying energies, that, overarching energies that were there, and that's holding on to things that aren't serving you. That's holding on to, to old things, patterns. You need to let some things go and change it up and really start figuring out where the priorities lie. Okay. So, as we're with that in mind, we're going to see what your most recent past messages are, Aquarius. We're going to see where you're at and what was going on. Okay. So, on the bottom of the deck for your most recent past, you have regeneration, soulmates, happy, and to be fair. The regeneration card. All right. I'm going to be flat out, with you, Aquarius. I want to say it's a crash and burn. All right. And people are going to say, oh my gosh, that is just awful. It's devastating. No, it's very, very strong tower energy. Something has come to where you have either hit a brick wall, or you have come in and you have said, all right, enough is enough. Like, I have to do something different here. It's about transformation. It's about a tower moment. It's about talking about, I can't continue moving forward with what I have always been doing, because it's not going to change if I don't. That is what has brought you into your most recent energies that are going to be here. But we're going to take a little bit deeper dive and see what else is going on for you. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else for Aquarius? Most recent past. Thank you. People, I'm telling you, I don't make this stuff up. The spirits are, and the messages that are coming through me, they're very specific, and they're very, very consistent, because on the bottom of the deck that's here is all that glitters. All right. And, as the expression goes, all that glitters is not gold. Right. And so this could be some of that, that treasure as far as that job is concerned. All right. Because, sometimes, are we chasing something that may not be there, or once we got there, it's not as great as what we thought it was. Look at everything we had to sacrifice on our way getting there. These are things that you have been looking back. All right. So here's the fork in the road. You made a major decision, right? You made a choice here in your most recent past, because whatever has happened, whether this at work, it's a relationship, it's a business venture, it's a divorce, it's whatever it is, whatever you obtained, you actually sat back and you looked and you said, what did I have to do in order to get here? And was it worth it? That's where you have been at. That's where that regeneration, that transformation, that tower moment was that you had here in your most recent past, Aquarius. I don't want to say rock bottom, but it was something that happened that rocked you so hard it shook your core. And that's hard to do for an Aquarius, okay? It's hard to do for an Aquarius, but that's exactly what happened. That's what I'm feeling. Because you have the fates, and truth be told, you had a coming to yourself conversation. That's exactly what you did, because you sat there and you said, what am I doing? How am I moving forward? Is this what I want my future to be? Because this was the big question that you asked yourself, and I cannot stress it enough. Why? Why did I do this? Why am I going for this? Why am I doing this? You had a coming to self conversation, and that's when you hit your turning point, your pivot point that you hit. Because I keep telling you, I keep saying, there is so much in the silence that just having that stillness, it makes all the messages loud and clear. And it can be hard to do that sometimes, because we can be afraid of what we're going to hear. But in reality, you are not going to hear anything that your heart hasn't already told you. It's just a matter of you actually facing it, which is where we're at, right? Okay? Move move through your fears. That was what it's one of your challenges that you're facing right now, and that's where you're at. Okay? If you don't take things head on and you don't actually sit and look at them and really be open to what those, what that truth is, then you're going to continually be stuck. Okay? So let's get a couple of clarifiers for your most recent past, Aquarius. I got a lot of them that want to come out. Just a couple. Thank you. Thank you. I am not surprised. The Three of Swords has come out very, very clearly. First card to the left. All right. And this doesn't necessarily mean that this is heartbreak in the sense that you've gone through a romantic relationship. It means that you've had a very hard conversation with somebody. So either somebody has had a hard conversation with you. I mean, you've got the broken heart here and you've got the Three of Swords here. And this Three of Swords really comes through and just says you've been through pain. You are healing through it. Okay? Because this is in the most recent past. Broken heart refers to something in the past, something that has already happened. It is something you are healing from. So however that is resonating with you as you're moving forward, because you got the Ten of Pentacles coming into your current messages and energies, and then you've got the Three of Pentacles coming in sideways, and this is where I'm talking about you got rocked to your core, because this, the Three of Pentacles coming in, Three of Pentacles in general talks about building a foundation. Okay. And so, when it comes in sideways, it's telling me that you're not necessarily, you are building it as much as you hit it. Okay. You hit the foundation, you hit the bottom of whatever it was, whether it was a broken heart, whether it was a setback at work, whether it was, something else in the family or whatever. This is what I feel, is coming in here, is really coming in saying you hit the bottom, you hit the foundation, and so now you have no other place but to go upwards, because you have the Ten of Pentacles that is coming in to your current messages. Okay, and the Ten of Pentacles is all about coming in, with that foundation, with that building that foundation, and really, setting plans and goals inside, in setting those goals in your sights so that you can move forward. Okay, so you've really got a very strong foundation that you are working on building, coming into your current messages. Okay. All right, so we're going to look here. So on the bottom of the deck for your current messages, you've got firm foundation. People, I am telling you, I don't make this up. All right, this is a very strong message. This is a confirming message from Spirit that when I say the Three of Pentacles coming out sideways, is you hit the foundation, you hit the bottom, so does the proverbial bottom. Now you've got the foundation to which you are building on. And this is where you are at today. Okay? You've got positive movement forward. Okay? And then you've got, light and, and truth that are coming in, right behind it. So, I mean, you've got some really, really strong cards that are coming in saying your foundation is strong. Your foundation is very, very strong. And you are definitely moving forward with everything that is going on. Okay. All right. So let's get, thank you, strongest messages, current messages for Aquarius, please. Thank you. The bottom of the deck, you have positive movement and choices. You have the Eight of Swords. You have new beginnings and stand your ground with the world. Okay? Aquarius, this is very, very strong because here's two major arcanas that you've got here. Okay? Okay, you've got the World, all right, and you've got new beginnings. This is the beginning and the end. This is the Alpha, the Omega, all right? So you have come off of one ending and you are starting into a new beginning. And this is a huge pivotal moment, okay, that is coming in. Because when you're standing your ground, you're holding firm to what you are doing right now. So these new goals, this new path that you are setting for yourself is very, very strong, okay? Because the Eight of Swords is really talking about being trapped in your own mind. It's anxiety, it's panic, it's worrisome, like what if, the why, it's questioning your gut. And you know what, you're done, you're not doing this anymore, because here, what do we got? We've got movement forward, we've got choices, we've got decisions. You got four doors that are coming up in front of you. This is very, very strong, standing your ground. This is movement, choices, decisions that you are making as you're coming forward, because look at what they've given you. Okay, so coming off of the Two of Cups, you're coming into the Seven of Pentacles, and this is saying, make your choices wisely. All right. Some are going to be more bountiful than others, and some of them are going to be happier. So make sure that you're putting very, very strong thought into the choices that you are making, because they're going to be very pivotal as you are moving forward. Because the card that flew out to my left is that firm foundation. And that was on the bottom of the deck, and it came out again. It's very much talking about you need to get yourself grounded. You need to go out and walk. You need to get in the air. You need to get your foundation, your roots, your first chakra. You've got to get yourself grounded as you're moving forward. However you ground yourself, because the last card that they gave you is the Death card, and this is all about transformation. And that showed up very, very much, in, your most recent past, is you hit that bottom. You hit that rock bottom, so to speak, on the foundation, and you've been working on building yourself up. And this is all about transformation. It's all about becoming somebody new, and, and really redefining who you are. All right. So as we're going on this and we're moving forward, we're going to go ahead, we're going to get some clarifiers for these recent messages. A couple of clarifiers for Aquarius, please. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else? Thank you. You got some very, very, very strong message cards that came out. You've got the Ace of Wands, you've got the Four of Pentacles, and you've got Strength. All right. This is confirmation where you are at. You are moving in the right direction. You are solid on the foundation that you are at, because, with the Ace of Wands, you've got a fire under you. You are really moving forward, and it's just like, all right, I am ready to go. I'm ready to pick up. I'm ready to move. This is where standing your ground, movement and choices, is coming in, because it's giving you all of that clarity, all of that, that sight of saying, yes, the choices, the movement that I am making is very, very strong, because you've got, that Four of Pentacles, right? That Four of Pentacles is coming in and says, I'm holding because I am really, really working hard on moving forward. And that's standing your ground. That's confirmation that the path that you're on, don't let people talk you out of it. You know that this is the right path that you're being on, because you got the Strength card that came in right on your heels. And it's really moving forward, talking about, this is how I need to move forward. And I know it's the right thing for me. It's the right thing for my family. I feel solid. I feel good about it. I'm going to keep moving forward with it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead here, and we're going to see what your incoming messages are, Aquarius, as we're moving forward. So on the bottom of the deck, you have pleasure, inner peace, new beginnings. Again, you've got new beginnings all around you, starting over, the Fool. Okay, there was standstill. That's listening to the silence. It's really listening to, going into the quiet and really, really doing some soul searching to figure out what is going on and how you want to move forward. All right, so let's go ahead. Thank you. Incoming messages for Aquarius, please. Thank you. Anything else for Aquarius? Thank you. On the bottom of the deck, new beginnings. New beginnings. This is new beginnings. New beginnings here. All right, you've got the Fool. You got new beginnings here in your incoming messages. This is opening up opportunities for you. And this is where I really feel, with this, even this career message card, this treasure. It's talking about having money in reserve, really resetting your finances. It's talking about there is something that is being hidden from you right now, but will reveal itself very, very soon. And it is going to be better for you in the long run, okay? Because you got new beginnings, wisdom, fulfillment, and abundance on the bottom of the deck. And this is confirmation of what is coming in, that all of this is happening with divine timing. And remember, the patience card for your overarching energies, the patience angel is holding a clock. And it's all about TikTok. It's all about divine timing, things happening when they are meant to. You can't have it happen sooner than what it is meant to. And because of this, you have received a lot of information. You have really reset. You have reset new boundaries. You have developed, you have let old things go that weren't serving you. You've changed a few habits that is helping you to move forward. Because if you look at this card, and I love this card, it's about embracing. And it's about embracing the change that you are going through and the transformation. Because when you see the stork that is in this card, there are some people will say those are fireflies that are around this stork. Some will say those are embers. Okay, so it's coming out after the fire. It's coming out of the ashes. It's coming after the storm, the transformation. Okay, and it's seeing the light on the horizon. It's seeing the positive, energy and motion as it is coming in and it is moving forward. Okay, so definitely lots of good things that are coming in for you, because the last two cards they gave you was voyage and release. Okay, and this is where you are doing that final letting go of things that don't serve you, and you are moving forward because you're letting them go with love. You're not letting them go in pain. You're not letting them go with animosity or any type of negative feelings or emotions towards whatever that is. And it could be letting a part or closing a chapter of your life that maybe it was time to close. It could be letting, closing a relationship. It could be opening a new relationship, however that resonates with you. But it's releasing things to let them go with love. And so that you can move on and move forward, because, there's a time and a place for everything to come into your life. There is also a time and a place for things to be let go, because they no longer serve you and they are meant to move on to other things for themselves. Okay. All right. So those are your incoming messages. We are going to get some clarifiers before we get a final message card from Spirit as we are closing this reading down. All right, thank you. And that thing went flying. I've got a flipper that's in here, so give me a second. Oh my goodness. I think Spirit has been very, very specific about the two cards that have come out. The card that fell on the floor and the card that came out, these are two very, very beautiful cards. You got the Four of Swords and you got the King of Swords. The Four of Swords is rest after the battle. It's finding time after all of this transformation and the new ground and the new foundation has been set and you're building on it. It is time for a rest. It is time for that love, that self-care, for you to really figure out where you're at and to reflect on things that have happened as you were moving, as you were settling into the new routine, the new changes that you have made as you're moving forward. And so, you know, one of these things, you know, when we're talking about, you know, your current messages that came in was standing your ground. And it's like, no, I know this. You're not going to let people talk you out of it, because you're like, no, I know this is what I have to do. I have to do this. And only you will be able to know what that is. And see, the King of Swords is very, very definitive king. All right. He comes in, he doesn't rule with emotion. He takes logic and truth over emotion every day of the week. All right. And in this particular situation where you're at, okay, you know that the logic, the truth, you know, the evidence, so to speak, that is being presented from you is very, very true and very, very clear cut. And you're sitting there saying, this is what I have to do. I know this is what I have to do, and I'm not going to be swayed by other people. I appreciate other people's care and their love for me, but I know this is what I have to do to move forward, because then, you know, here comes the Four of Swords saying it's time to rest after the battle. Okay? And it's looking at the sunshine. It's looking at the flowers, and it's taking that relaxing stay of just saying, I'm happy where I'm at now. It was a long haul to get here, but it was for the best for myself. Okay. All right. So we are going to get a couple of Archangel message cards for you, Aquarius, from Spirit, as we are getting through this reading, for them to give you any final messages that they have as you are moving forward. Okay. All right. So there's one. We're going to get one or two more from Spirit. Thank you. One more. So they gave you Queen Gabrielle. And she says she is passionate, charming, brilliant, and independent. You can do anything right now. Go after what you want. The ability to attract helpful people. And Spirit also gave you the Ace of Michael. And Michael says, a wonderful new idea. This is about new beginnings. This is about new ideas, new beginnings that we've been hearing through this whole reading. Don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Clear up communication problems with others. And that was very confirmational, because we saw that fifth chakra come out in your overarching energies. And communication is your fifth chakra. It's your throat chakra. There's a lot of messages that are here for you, Aquarius. I feel that this is a message that you needed to hear as you were moving forward with this, that is confirmation of the path that you are on. So I hope it helped. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd be grateful if you'd hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Please feel free to leave me any comments, and we will see you back here next time. Take care.